And thank you for being with us as we celebrate the two teams that will participate in this year's 33rd Valero Alamo Bowl. We're happy to announce that USC and TCU have accepted invitations to play in the 2025 Valero Alamo Bowl. The Trojans and Horned Frogs will square off in the Alamo Dome on Tuesday, December 30th at 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. We are here for the Bowl Game Spectacular, brought to you by our friends at Texit Coin. Coach, the 8-4 Frogs are headed to the bowl game. We're going to the 2025 Valero Alamo Bowl, December 30th against the USC Trojans, ranked number 16. First off, congrats for getting us there. What an incredible opportunity for us. Thoughts?
Yeah, excited. I mean, end of the season with some momentum. Thought we played well down the stretch, and proud of our players for doing that. And just, want to build off of that. I felt like Cincinnati game was probably one of the best games that we've played this year in terms of just a complete football game. So looking forward to hopefully, like I said, building off of that. The Alamo Bowl is a fantastic bowl game, great location for us being in Texas. Been to the bowl game several times in the past. To me, one of the great games that there is. I mean, just a fantastic location, great stadium, great fan experience, great player experience. And then the big thing for us is a chance to get the 9 wins and beat a top 25 team and a team that, again, has had one of the most successful football programs in college football history. So anytime you're playing against somebody like that, it's a great opportunity for your program. Sure.
We have a little bit of a history with the school, the USC, from years past. We'll get into that here shortly, but there's many storylines in this game, Coach. First off, Lincoln Riley, the head coach. You've known this guy for a long, long time. Tell us about the relationship with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I met Lincoln. Lincoln was a walk-on quarterback for us when I was coaching at Texas Tech. So had him as a player for a year, then kind of transitioned into the role as a student coach. And so we've known each other forever. I mean, our wives are friends. We've known each other forever and have a long-lasting kind of strong relationship. He's obviously a really good football coach, a great guy, and has been very successful, and so really proud of what he's done, and not surprised again that that they have a good team and in a great program.
Also in his 4th year of coaching, just like you here, he comes from a small town called Muleshoe, Texas. Are you familiar with Muleshoe?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, not too far from where I'm from. I was born in a place called Big Spring, so out in West Texas as well. So not too far from there, and I've been to Muleshoe many times in my life.
Very nice. All right, Coach. 1998, there was a little game in El Paso, the Sun Bowl. TCU upset a USC team, 28-19 by the final. They had a Chris Claiborne, a Butkus winner, and they had a little quarterback named Carson Palmer who won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
That's where this story with USC starts, I believe. We're going to have Josh and Josh Hoover and Max Duggan on shortly, who wasn't even born at the time. But Does that game ring any bells for you?
Yeah, sure does. I mean, obviously with TCU fans and alumni and supporters, it was a big moment. I think it was a moment that kind of put TCU on the map and kind of led to a lot of success that occurred here after that. So it was a big win and a big part of TCU football history.
Your coach was Paul Hackett.
Yeah, sure. I remember Paul Hackett. Yeah, for sure.
Fair enough. Another storyline that we need to address: Garrett Riley, the current offensive coordinator at Clemson. He's a brother of Lincoln Riley,
right?
And you know Garrett.
Yeah, for sure. Garrett worked with me for a number of years, both at SMU and then here in 22 at TCU, and I'm sure we'll cross paths with Garrett and the whole Riley family. We know the parents and know all the kids and everybody. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Fair enough. In 1996. Go back a couple more years. Your dad coached Texas Tech in the Alamo Bowl a few years ago. Do you have memories of that game?
Yeah, I do. And then I coached in it myself later on. So yeah, it's. I think this is the first time in bowl history that a father and son have coached in the bowl game. So that's kind of cool. Right. So yeah, looking forward to it. And again, I love San Antonio. It's a great place to visit. I think it's going to be a great experience for our players and our fans.
And then 2016 is when everybody goes to immediately, the TCU Miracle. The trophy's sitting there behind you, but 31-0 at half, and they come back to win the biggest bowl game comeback in history.
Yeah.
Does that the other guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't think many of our players know about it. I think that's one thing that we need to do a good job of educating our guys a little bit as we start preparing for the game and just making sure that they're aware of the way that game and the way it went down and just the whole story of it. It's really a pretty remarkable story, and again, it's just kind of part of TCU football history.
We're going to talk to Bram Kohlhausen here in a couple of days, and he'll be on the Frogs Today pregame show at the game. So
I'm probably going to try to get Bram maybe to come talk to our team, and so I'm not sure if he's going to be available, but I'm certainly going to make that phone call and reach out and see if he wants to come and talk to our guys.
Heck of a guy. I think he'd be willing.
Yeah, no, he's the best. I've gotten to know Bram a little bit and think the world of him.
Well, let's talk about the USC Trojans. They're 9-3 overall and 7-2 in conference. It says they lost to Oregon, Notre Dame, and Illinois. In two of their wins, they only have 2 top 25 wins, Iowa and Michigan. So these are guys that can play some football. We already know that, but there's a team that TCU can surely beat if they play.
Yeah. I mean, really good football team. They're going to be very well represented in the NFL draft. They're going to have a number of players drafted high. Mm-hmm. Year in, year out, they're one of the top recruiting classes in college football, one of the top transfer classes. They've got elite level talent. They play in a really competitive league. The Big Ten is obviously strong from top to bottom. They played a lot of close games this year, and could have been one of those teams that probably ended up easily 11-1. And had a couple things that didn't bounce their way, but very, very good football team. Probably a better team, than their ranking. And like I said, they're a team that, could make some noise in the college football playoff. And so very talented, but a team that, our guys will be excited to play.
Quarterback Jaden Mayava, dual threat guy, third team All Big Ten quarterback.
Yeah, good player. I mean, good player. Can really throw it, can do all the stuff you want, big time quarterbacks to do. He's got good size, got good accuracy, can move around, can create, just a really good football player.
And a guy I know you're keeping an eye on, Mekhi Lemon, their first team, All Big Ten receiver, Blitnikoff finalist too.
Yeah, one of the best receivers in college football, really elite guy, will be a high draft pick, probably a first rounder or a second day guy at worst.
And Bishop Fitzgerald, their safety, another first team. He's a good safety.
Yeah, really good safety, one of the top safeties in college football. Yeah, you look at their defensive front, probably the strength of their team, really, really big and athletic up front. A lot of draft picks in the defensive front as well. So, good, solid football team.
Running backs, King Miller and Wayman Jordan. Do you know anything about these guys?
Yeah, run hard, both physical guys, got good speed, break tackles, just good players.
And the last one I'll ask you about, Lake McCree, their tight end, second team All Big Ten.
Yeah, has really, really good football player, very productive. They do a nice job getting the ball a lot of different ways. He can throw the ball down the field. He screens. All the different ways. They're very creative and getting him isolated and matched up on people.
Offensive coordinator Luke Heward. There we go. Heward. He's got a kind of a cool story. His two brothers played in Washington in the NFL, Brock and Damon.
You're right. That's right.
Your other brother Sam is currently a quarterback at USC. You know much about this guy?
Yeah. Good family. Obviously, great history of football. Really good football coach. Looks really similar to what Lincoln has historically run. Kind of an air raid offense with a really strong running game, and built on the strengths of the quarterback.
And the defensive coordinator, Danton Lynn?
Yeah, so I know his dad well. Anthony Lynn and I have known each other since college. Anthony played football at Texas Tech with my dad and went on to become an NFL head coach, and this is his son is the defensive coordinator there. So I've known Danton since he was a kid. Really good coach, outstanding young coach, and really successful.
Very nice. Okay, bowl game schedule for the Frogs. What do you have them lined up?
Yeah, we got practice this Thursday, Friday. We'll take the weekend off, come back, practice Monday, Tuesday. A little bit of a break Thursday, Friday, and then we'll start kind of getting game plan ready. This is 6 practices that are almost like spring practices. We'll have a chance to rep a lot of our young players, work on a lot of fundamentals, really player development type things, and then we'll get our game plan finalized and start putting it together and getting ready to go play USC.
It's finals week, correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we have a couple of players, 6 players taking finals on Thursday, and 2 on Friday rather. 6 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and so guys are starting to wrap up and be done. It won't affect us too much when it comes to our preparation.
You love any calls to them or texts saying, "Hey, good luck," or "Hey, you better"?
Yeah. We're always trying to help motivate our guys the best that we can when it comes to academics. Again, that's the reason they're here, is to go to school and graduate and get a degree.
Fair. Any injuries worth noting at the present moment?
Not right now, nothing. I think we should get some players back that we haven't had in a while because of the break, and so looking forward to to practicing with a fuller roster than we have in a while. We've had some guys heal up, and just like I said, looking forward to getting out there and getting rolling.
Fair. And you've shared a little bit about the recruiting class you just signed. Any thoughts on the guys that are all lined up now?
Yeah, I like the group a lot. I think it's a really, really solid group. Love the size and athleticism, length. It's a really long group, and we have to continue to get bigger. On the defense and offensive front, and it's going to be a big to bring these guys in, develop them, and see what they become.
For sure. Last year's Alamo Bowl, it's a prime slot you're going to be in, by the way, an 8 o'clock game, I believe. But at last year's BYU Colorado game drew 8 million viewers. So yeah,
looking forward to hopefully exceeding that. Yeah, it should be a heck of a ball game, and fired up about it.
You're a little more exciting to me than Dion is. So I
don't know if I'm as exciting as Dion, but it's okay.
All right, Coach. So it'll be December 30th, Tuesday, 8 o'clock ESPN. We're looking forward to it. This is going to be a rematch we've been long awaiting. So good luck in the game, and we'll see you guys in the Alamo Bowl, Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.
Another edition of State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes, brought to you by our friends at Texit Coin. Next, we'll talk to Josh Hoover and Max Duggan.
Keeping score of your finances but missed the Bitcoin wagon? There's a second chance called Texit Coin. Score big at texitcoin.org.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs. We are joined by two beloved TCU legends. One of them already, one of them to be potentially. We have Max Duggan here and Josh Hoover. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Appreciate having on. Yeah, thanks for having us.
The pride of Council Bluffs and the beloved, Rockwall Heath.
There it is. There it is. Yes, sir.
You guys do know each other, yes?
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah. I used to get bullied by this guy.
He didn't get bullied.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us. Let's go first back to the year 2022, a year you know very well. Tell us your thoughts about the year that was, the dream season for us, if you could put it into some thoughts for us.
Yeah, that was just an unbelievable experience. Obviously what a great year for us to experience as a team and as a program, and our fans to go through that year. And it was just a lot of fun to look back on now. And I know the guys are doing a great job of continuing on this program.
You're still playing, obviously, the Toronto Argonauts, but do you ever reminisce about that season that was? Does that ever come into your thoughts, thinking about how great that was?
No, I think sometimes when you get some of the guys that have played on that team and kind of get around each other, you start, telling old stories about that year. So,
when you were there, Max, do you remember a young freshman kind of looked like this guy right here, Josh Hoover, on the team?
Oh yeah, he was making us all look bad in practice, even as a little freshman. The kid was, most talented, guy we had spinning the ball. So it was a lot of fun to think back on, how much he's grown from that freshman year.
For sure. All right, Josh, what do you remember about the year 2022?
Remember a lot of scout team reps, getting chased around by all those guys, and watching Max, obviously watching that team do what they did was pretty cool for me to watch. I didn't know any different. It was my first year in college, and kind of was able to see how he went about stuff and just competitiveness and the leader that those guys were in that group. And so it was really cool for me to watch and experience. And I thought that's just how it went. You just go to the national championship every year, and those guys were unbelievable to be around, and kind of set the foundation for what the program was in year one. So couldn't have had a better foundation they set.
Well done. What can you tell us about that quarterback room back then? What was it like, not knowing what you know now? Can you tell us about the environment that you were part of?
Yeah, it was a good group of guys. Had some good players in there, guys who've all started games in college, and there was a lot of talented guys in there. Obviously, Garrett Riley was our quarterback coach, and he did a great job with Max and all those guys. And it was really special to watch, just the way, like I said, the way they went about their business and prepared and went out there and played, and played tough and all that stuff.
I know you guys are buddies. Do you guys stay in touch often?
Yeah, Max has been really encouraging for me just throughout the whole process of college and ups and downs, and he's experienced some of that, and so I think it's cool for me to have some conversations with him about how to navigate those times and continue to get better and try to be your best.
For sure. Max, critiques on Josh?
Yeah, Hoove, he likes to embarrass me when we get the sticks out and go play golf, so that's it's been a lot of fun getting to know him, and just staying in contact. And obviously we have a great relationship. Hoover and I were roommates on the road freshman year, so we got to know each other really well, and then just have continued on that relationship. So it's been fun following him throughout his career. He's done an unbelievable job, and just one of the greats here of playing quarterback at TCU.
For sure. Any competitive match with golf between you two? Is somebody better than the other?
I am not as good as Josh. I promise
I
you
don't
that.
know. The way I played yesterday, I'd like to go rematch. I mean, I think he might have me right now. So
Fair enough.
we played a couple times, but we'll have to get back out there.
What do you guys like, if you mind me asking such a silly question, what do you like about each other's football games as far as quarterback? What do you admire about the other guy?
For me, watching Max, I loved just his toughness and just the way he set the tone, and was just the same guy every day. Just a clutch guy, in the clutch moments, made the plays. Just tough the way he ran the ball and just kind of led our team, and just the most humble guy, I've ever been around. I've always been impressed by his humility. So that was something really cool, stuck out to me.
I think you guys share that trait, actually. That humility is a pretty powerful thing. How about you, Max?
Yeah, I think, one of the best things about Hoove and, just watching him in these past years this year, and then even as a freshman, was just the confidence. I mean, I used to, give him a hard time because he's making throws in freshman year of season in 22 that I wouldn't even have tried to make. I'm like, yeah, Hoove, that's all you, man. I can't make that throw. So just the confidence and the work ethic and what, it means to him, of him putting on the jersey and him playing for the guys. It's just been a lot of fun to follow him and watch him.
I know you're not wanting to keep track of your own records, but you have a significant amount of records at this school. This guy next to you has just surpassed one of them, the career passing yards, and I think he just tied you in career touchdowns at 71.
There you go.
What are your thoughts on that with this guy sitting next to you?
Man, that's awesome. I mean, just like I said, he's one of the greats for playing quarterback here at TCU, and he deserves all the credit and recognition that he's gotten, and to get up there and be a part of that record and to hold it forever. He's going to be a part of history in this great program for a long time.
And knowing you the way we think we do, you're a humble guy as well. Records aren't what you're after here. What does that mean to you, taking somebody like this off his little pedestal?
I don't think I took him off the pedestal. He'll always have a pedestal here. I mean, what they did in 22 was special, hadn't been done in a really long time, and so I don't think any of those records are going to matter. It's not going to change anything, and I'm still trying to be what he was for this program, and still trying to continue on that journey.
For sure. You mentioned one of the cool little storylines. Garrett Riley was your offensive coordinator. Now is at Clemson, and his brother is Lincoln Riley, who you're going to play in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Neat little twist in there. What do you remember about Coach Riley, if anything? Is that something we can ask you guys?
Yeah, Coach Riley, from my perspective, he was great. I loved, the way he coached, and positive guy. Wasn't a guy that was going to sit there and dog cuss guys and do it that way. And I thought he went about it the right way. And I think Max probably has more to say about that than I do. But he was a great coach that I thought a lot of.
Nice.
Yeah, Coach Riley was great, man. Obviously, we love being in that room together. He did a phenomenal job, so it's been fun following his career. And, obviously with Lincoln out at USC, there's going to be probably very similar philosophies of things that we ran in 22 of what USC is running now, and they've done a great job of at USC. But, Garrett was just a lot of fun to be in the room with. Great man, great coach, so it was a lot of fun.
Very nice. The other cool storyline is a guy named Chandler Morris, who you both knew very well. He's now had a pretty good run with Virginia and just lost out in the ACC championships. You guys have any thoughts on Chandler? Is somebody you guys stay in touch with? How's that work?
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch Chandler. And that's what's awesome about that 22 year of all three of us being in that room together and everyone going on and having their careers and playing at a very high level. So it's been awesome to watch Chandler. I'm glad he's having success. Obviously, wanted to go the other way for him, on Saturday night, but he's having a phenomenal career, and it's been fun watching him.
Sure. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, he's a super talented guy, and it's been, like I said, it's been cool. I knew him from being here, obviously, and watched him, as he's gone on. He's had a really good season. I mean, Virginia I don't know exactly what the record was last year, but they've kind of turned it around and had a great year. And like Max said, didn't go the way they probably wanted on Saturday, but that doesn't take away from what he's done this year and what they've become as a program.
For sure. Josh, would you tell us your thoughts on the upcoming Valero Alamo Bowl, USC, TCU? Anything you can share with us at the moment?
Yeah, it's exciting. Getting a chance to go play on the Alamo Bowl is a really big deal. USC is a great team, and they're highly thought of and the rankings and everything, and they deserve it. They're a solid team. Coach Riley does a great job, and they've got a lot of good players, so it's going to be a good challenge, and I think we're excited about that opportunity.
Had a chance to look at their defense. So are the things they do that you feel like you can have some positive?
Yeah, a little bit. Haven't really gotten too deep into it yet, but there's some things that they do that I feel like would match up well for us and what we do, and it'll be an exciting matchup, and looking forward to it.
Fair. Max, any thoughts on the upcoming Valero Alamo Bowl?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Just watching two great programs go in it. I know this TCU team deserves to play in this game and against a great opponent and brand in USC. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be watching, we'll be cheering on, and it'll be a great game for the Frogs.
Where were you guys in 2016, the TCU Miracle? If you were, that was before you guys were here, obviously, but what do you guys remember about that game? Did you guys have a chance to watch it? I mean, you've heard about it, I'm sure, but what are your thoughts on that?
I think I was probably a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I remember watching that. That's kind of one of those core memories of college football, of going in and watching the game, of just the absolute just up and downs of the games, and Bram playing in that game and what he was able to do. So it's just one of those core memories of TCU and for college football.
Sure. I put you in about, what, 6th grade, 5th grade?
I think I was probably 6th grade, probably 12, something like that, and obviously I wasn't at the time like all in on TCU, but I remember watching a little bit of the game, and obviously now hearing about it, like Max said, and knowing Bram and seeing what they did in that game was pretty cool. I remember watching the overtime of it, and don't remember a whole lot about it, but it's a pretty cool thing for TCU to go back to that game where we had success in the past.
There's a little older game, the 1998 Sun Bowl, that I knew a little bit about, but you guys weren't even born then, so I can't ask you too much about that game. But that was a good one. That's where this whole USC TCU thing started, I believe. Yes.
There we go.
The memories. Yeah.
That's cool.
All right, real quickly, Max, Toronto Argonauts. Tell us about Toronto a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so playing up in the CFL with Toronto, and going back up there in May, but had a great time. Obviously, it's a fun league up there. There's a little bit different rules, but had a great time. It's great ball, great coaches, great players, so I'm looking forward to getting back up there in May.
You to try any poutine, the local fair up there in Canada?
I have not yet. Maybe I wasn't up there very long, but maybe next time when I get up there, I'll have to check it out.
And Blue Jays fan? Fair?
Yeah, honorary, I'd say, when you get up there, kind of hopped on the bandwagon of the Jays going to the World Series and following them, and that was a lot of fun and great experience to be in the city during their run.
How would you compare, real quickly, Toronto Argonauts versus like the Chargers? Is it an easy comparison? Is it night and day difference? Anything you can share with us?
I think it's pro ball at the end of the day, and I think the coaching staff, ownership, fans, players, it's all people take it very serious, and it's a lot of fun. Guys are enjoying it, they're working hard, and I'm just very grateful to be a part of it.
Surely. Well, knowing Josh the way you do you think there's a place for him and then at the next level?
Oh yeah, he'll be good to go. I know just the traits that he has physically, but obviously who he is as a person and what he does outside the game will he'll be playing for a long time after this.
He was telling me before the show that he thinks he has a better arm than you. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I told him that when he was a freshman, and I been in college for 4 years, and he'd already had a better arm than me. So
fair.
We're gonna have to jump him after this. I didn't say that.
Wish we had a football around here. Christmas plans, Josh? You know the bowl schedule yet?
A little bit. I think we'll be practicing kind of before and after, and probably have Christmas Day off, and then maybe leave the next day for San Antonio. So it'll be a good time, and bowl prep's always fun. This time of year, it's always a chance to go out and practice and get better, and kind of use some of the young guys to develop them, and it's a great opportunity. So it'd be a fun time.
How did the team learn about the selection of the Valero Alamo Bowl?
I think it kind of just came out on social media and stuff. I don't really do social media. Coach Dykes had texted me about it, but that's kind of how I found out, and then we talked about the next day in the team meeting. So
fair. Max, Christmas plans this year?
I'll be in Fort Worth, be around here, and then hopefully try to make my way down to the game, and we'll be cheering on the guys.
We're super glad to have you guys on the show. We're honored to call you guys friends. We've appreciated watching you both. Still got a little ways to go. Take it easy on the records next year, Josh. Now, in distant future, I think we're going to see some really special things out of this guy. We love watching you, man, and we appreciate you joining the show. So thanks, Max Duggan and Josh Hoover, for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We're right back with Sonny Dykes and our new Chancellor, Daniel Pullin.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs. We want to thank Josh and Max for joining the show. That was what a treat that was. We are joined with another little treat today. We have Coach Dykes to my far left, and immediately left we have the new Chancellor of TCU, Daniel Pullin. Thank you guys for joining us on the show.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
We're here for a very special reason. We're in bowl season, and this guy's earned his way into the Valero Alamo Bowl. So Chancellor Pullin, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the program as it stands today and where we're headed?
Well, we got a program with a lot of heart. Obviously, there's talent on both sides of the ball, and we're real proud of that. But the character of this team and the perseverance of this team, you know, we had some bumps along the way, but we finished really strong, and we've done that for a couple years in a row now, and that's really heartening to all of us. Type of character that's in that locker room, and that's the kind of momentum that we hope to build on, and what will be a very high-profile national interest level bowl game.
Is it fair to say that athletics in general is a very important part of any university?
It certainly is for Texas Christian University. If you think about the national landscape for higher education, it's as competitive as it's ever been. In fact, over 100 universities have gone out of business in the last decade in this country alone, which means not everybody's finding its footing. You know, what's its unique value proposition that's going to motivate students and families that support students and faculty and staff and coaches and all sorts of folks to gravitate here. And if you think about TCU, we're one of only just a handful of universities in the country that offers this particular chemistry. A small school, high quality private school experience educationally, set against the backdrop of big time sports, Power 4 sports and amenities that sort of belie the size of our university, all situated in a really cool town, being Fort Worth, Texas, right? So if you think about the overgeneralized 17-year-old who's thinking about where he or she wants to go to college, where else can you go to a school where you don't have to make trade-offs, where you could have a small school, big sports, cool town? It's the ultimate college experience. And so performing at the highest levels from an athletics perspective is a big part of what draws the broader student body to be Horned Frogs.
Coach, some people compare a football program to as the front porch of the university. You've heard this designation before. Is that your job's hard enough to win as it is?
Yeah.
Is this an added bonus, I guess?
No, I think it's a great thing. I mean, I think that I think that's the way the world is. You know, I think the students want to have a really positive experience at the universities, and I believe that very competitive championship athletics contributes to that in a big way. I mean, there's nothing that students are going to remember more than going to a football game and charging the court after a big win in basketball or a soccer match that like they had here a couple of weeks ago that it was won in a shootout and all those kind of things. I mean, those are memorable experiences that people take with them and they hold on to them forever. And I think it has an impact on the way they give back to the university and the way they contribute to that university and support it after that experience. And so I think, those are all big moments that everybody remembers. And so I think it's a really positive part of the overall student experience and an important part of it.
For sure. You guys have immensely different roles yet under the same umbrella. Do you get a chance, Coach, to see the academic administrative side of this university?
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is I'm going to teach a class this spring, so I'll get to see it firsthand. So I'm excited, looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's that's why you get into this business, is you want to, you love football, but you love young people and you love contributing to their experience and trying to have an impact, a worthwhile impact on their lives. And so that's what I enjoy more than anything else. And so I look back on my college experience and, finally remember going to class and finally remember my experience in the dorms and all the things, were a big impactful part of my life. And so I want to contribute every way that I can to that positive experience for our student athletes and also for the overall student body population. And I just think it's really important that there is a connection between athletics and academics, and we support each other, and we're all in it for the same reason. We want to enrich the lives of the young people that attend TCU.
Very nice. This class you're teaching, can you give us a little insight?
Yeah, it's going to be a leadership class in the business school, and really looking forward to learning a lot. I mean, that's the thing from my perspective. I'll have an opportunity to be around some really incredibly sharp students and I think provide a different perspective into leadership and what it means.
Will you have to leave class early for spring football?
Well, luckily the class is Mondays in the evening, so we'll be practicing spring football early in the morning. So no class conflicts.
Fair. Daniel, you also teach as well, an entrepreneurial class.
Yep, that's right.
How's that going?
Oh, it's going great. I mean, it's always evolving. I love to teach. I mean, certainly it brings me closer to the real asset of the university, which is the students. That's why we're here. So I can listen to the power and resonance of the student voice every day. Sometimes if I just sit in my office, by the time something hits my desk, it's been filtered 5 or 6 times and it's laden with agenda. But boy, if I get in the classroom, which is really it's the shop floor of what we do at a university, right? Really where the magic is, then I can really keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening at the student level. I can gather their aspirations, understand where we can get better, and continuously improve as a university. And then with entrepreneurship and innovation, given the pace of change in the world today, it keeps my business acumen sharp, makes me, as market aware as I can be. And that certainly is applied to the benefit of TCU. And then I guess maybe finally, it fills my bucket. And so, 20 years ago, I got into higher education because I fell in love with the classroom and I love the power of seeing direct impact in the lives of others every day. And, there's a lot about my job that sometimes isn't as glamorous as people might think. And some days can be really challenging, but every day that I'm in the classroom is a great day.
Hopefully after this show, the people will see your class is going to fill up fast, we hope.
Yeah, I think it's already full. Tough to get in. Yeah, I've had a lot of requests for people to get in the class. And so, yeah, I think we're trying to keep it small. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I'm, like I said, excited about it. It's been a while since I've been in the classroom. I mean, I was a sophomore English teacher at J.J. Pierce High School, and way back 30 years ago, I took a lot of pride in being a good teacher, and it was really kind of important for me to learn, and I think I'm excited about getting back in the classroom and learning from those students, and again, trying to enrich their experience.
Fair enough. Question for you both. We're playing USC in the Valero Alamo Bowl, California, Los Angeles specifically team. There's no secret that this university gets a lot of its students from California. Does that make this game a recruiting tool of some sorts for that specific reason?
Daniel, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I think it's anytime you have, the chance to compete at the highest level with a reputable opponent, it's coming from a major metro, a densely populated geography, you want to take the biggest advantage of it. And certainly, I know Coach will talk about it from a student athlete awareness perspective, but particularly Southern California, Northern California as well, it's a real hotbed for student recruiting writ large. We've done very, very well there, probably starting with our Rose Bowl victory a number of years ago, and haven't tapped the brakes since. After Texas, which is, of course, our largest feeder state here at TCU, California's number 2. And so being right with that market and making sure the goodness that we see here on campus every day, the quality, the academic experience, the quality of the student experience, and then candidly, the fact-based outcomes, the placement rates and the starting salaries and the return on investment in TCU education, those are the kinds of messages that are going to be operating alongside what we're trying to do as we perform on the football field.
Does that question even resonate with you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, from a college football perspective, I mean, it's one of the biggest brands in the business and has been for a long time. I mean, a program that has an unbelievable tradition. And so anytime you play a team like that, it's exciting, it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity.
Very good. Do you guys spend much time together, the two of you guys? Are you guys close? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we do. I mean, you would be surprised actually how much time we spend together just at things like this, in events and different things. And I think it's interesting. I think our jobs are probably closer to merging more now than ever in some ways, just because of the uniqueness of what's occurring in the world of college football and also in the academic world. And I think that, we both need support in a lot of different aspects for our programs, and we want to do everything at TCU first class, and we want to be the very best that we can, and that takes support, and it takes a lot of investment as well. And so I think we end up a lot of places trying to enrich the experience for our students and our student athletes as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just say, look no further than our strategic plan, lead on values in action. And part of the way we put our values in action is focusing on 4 key pillars for the future of TCU, and certainly, growing the student experience and what we're doing in the classroom, growing our research capabilities, engaging in an enhanced way with the community. But the 4th pillar is one that's uncommon to find itself at the very top of a university strategic plan, and that's athletics and performing at the highest level in athletics, and certainly in football, but the broader portfolio of the excellence that we see in Horned Frog athletics. And so I'm thinking about athletics every day. The strategic plan compels me to think about it every day, and certainly with outstanding coaches like Coach Dykes, it's a recipe for success.
Sure. You are known as an avid sports fan. Did you play any football back in the day?
No, I was a tennis player. Yeah, I was a football fan, and know just enough to be dangerous. I was good enough to get 0 D1 offers in tennis, and could have paid my way to play D2 or D3 probably.
That's fair. He's a baseball player right there.
Yeah, it's very similar. I was lucky to just get to hang around.
Yep.
So, Coach, Chancellor Pullin's known to walk around the campus, meet with the students. Do you ever get a chance to walk around the campus? Do you have any favorite spots around the campus that aren't football related?
Probably not as much as I would like, but yeah, I do. I mean, our family tries to be highly involved in a lot of different aspects of TCU, and so we're always, trying to go to different events, support particularly sporting events. I think that's the best way for us to get out and get around, students is at those sporting events, and we really look forward to it. My wife Kate and I just love supporting TCU, whether it's academically or whether it's on the field of play. It's just a fantastic place, an incredibly unique university that checks in a lot of boxes. And I've got a 17-year-old daughter that's about a year away from making a decision where she's going to attend campus or attend college, and we hope it's here. We just love this place. We think it provides a real unique opportunity. I tell people this all the time. I mean, this is really one of the first schools I've ever coached at where I want my kids to go to school here. Just because I think it's an incredibly unique place, and so that part of it's pretty cool. And so we're getting to compare TCU to other colleges, and she's starting to take a look around, and it's an exciting time for all of us.
Super cool. You guys have both made careers out of reaching and understanding young people, young students. Is there anything you could say as far as what's the key to grabbing hold of a young person's attention and getting them to do either football or academics? Is there a secret sauce to how you get these kids? Anything you can share?
Right, Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, I start with questions. I'm a lawyer by training, a professor, and a former consultant. So I'm pretty used to giving out advice. Or at least that's what I was trained to do. But over my career, I've learned that it's not the answer that's powerful. It's the question that has the power to unlock a relationship or a breakthrough idea. And so what I've come to do from a stylistic perspective is to start my engagements with students with just questions. What's on their mind? What are they thinking about? What are they passionate about? What makes them anxious? What's really behind their dreams? And then what's my role to get on the critical path between where they are and where they want to be? And if you can validate their voice by asking them what they think instead of telling them what you think they ought to go do, then you've got a lot better chance to have success. But not certainly in the near term, but a long run relationship was the hallmark of the promise of being a TCU alum.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well said. Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's the same thing with me. I mean, it's listening. I think that's the thing. I think sometimes is adults and sometimes people in a position like we're in, you do all the talking, and I enjoy it when I get to listen and when I get to get feedback, and we get to make adjustments and we get to refine and do things to create a better process and a better outcome. And so I think that's the thing I enjoy the most. And then just getting to know people, just having a relationship and pouring into people, and I think is what makes it fun. And that's what makes our experience so unique, is we spend so much time with our student athletes, whether it's practice, but it's all the different things. And we're about to go to a bowl game, and so I'm going to find myself at a table sitting with players that I haven't really had a chance to sit with, and to get to know those guys and to get their experience and their perspective, and then make adjustments on that and figure out ways to improve our program. And the best way to do that is to listen, and to listen to the players, and to always be willing to adapt and adjust and try to be as refined as you can possibly be.
Great to hear. There definitely is there is power in asking the right questions. So if you two reversed roles, how would that go for these universities?
Probably not well on my end.
Wow, I don't know. Wow, that's a great question. Wow, I don't know. Well, let me think about it. So my personality would be, I'm pretty aggressive. I try to be innovative. I try to compete and keep people off balance. So, I don't know. If I was the football coach, you'd probably see a bunch of crazy trick plays, like a end around or a double reverse or a fumble rooski, or the froggy special or whatever we're going to call it. So probably a lot of reckless, haphazard chances, but with the right spirit behind it.
Fair. Coach.
Yeah, I'm not even going there.
Fair. All right, Daniel, state of college football. Any thoughts on all the stuff, the NIL stuff, all this playoff stuff? Any thoughts on all this stuff?
Yeah, you just got to stay attuned to the market. It changes every day. We have such a strong, powerful network here at TCU, both on and beyond campus. We operate in a very vibrant business community, in the broader Fort Worth, Dallas metro. So we have a lot of great assets, but it's moving at the speed of light. I think the fact that we are an institution of innovation, that we bring an entrepreneurial spirit to everything that we do, allows us to move at the speed of business. And that's what it is at some level today, is a business. And we have to make sure that we're putting our resources and our relationships in the right sequence and array to be successful amidst a fast-moving landscape.
There certainly is a big push of money into the sport.
Yep.
There's stories of private equity entering the landscape of college football. Any thoughts there? Is money just such a powerful topic that it's all-encompassing now? Or?
Well, I don't know if it's all-encompassing, because we're still a university and we're educating students, and we want to prepare them not only be successful for the time they're on the field or on the court or on the pitch, but for the decades that will follow as they build, careers in the context of life that may extend beyond their playing days. So we can't lose complete sight of it. But no, we want to do all we can to provide the resources necessary to compete and win at the highest level. I'm really proud of the fiscal stewardship that certainly we've seen in the athletic department, but across the whole university, to allow us to participate fully in the revenue share level. We're working really hard to secure NIL opportunities kind of above the rev share cap, so that we can be as competitive financially. Because if we can even be in the ballpark financially, I think the quality of our education, the quality of our community, the wraparound student success services we provide our student athletes, the facilities, outstanding coaches, there's not a better hand to be played than Texas Christian University.
As our team and our coach got us prepared and lined up for a great bowl game against USC, they have a certain coach named Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me correct, Chancellor, you spent a little time at OU prior to coming to TCU 2014 and 2019, to be specific, as the Dean of the College of Business, I believe.
Yep.
You have any interaction with Lincoln Riley back in those days?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Lincoln was great partner to the College of Business. At OU, there was a sports management program that was highly populated with student athletes. So a lot of back and forth. He was very, very helpful. Even on the fundraising campaign, we would do kind of an academic side and then an athletic side. And we typically have some great events right after signing day and those kinds of things. So he was always very, very willing to collaborate and support the broader institution. Bright guy, very ambitious guy. Nothing but positive things to say about him.
And Coach, I know you go way back with Lincoln.
Yeah, I've known Lincoln since he was 18 years old. Yeah, a lot of history between us, a lot of mutual respect. Lincoln was one of those guys at a young age. You knew he was going to be successful. It just was really hardworking, kind of mature, focused, guy. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised he's had the success, and excited excited to compete against him. His teams are always going to be well coached and well prepared, and we spend time together in the off season, so it'll be fun to tee it up and see which team gets some bragging rights.
Fair enough. Coach, you've been used to this bowl thing for a long, long time. Christmas season isn't normal for you guys. I know this with the team.
Yeah.
Anything you can share with us schedule?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're actually going to be home for Christmas this year, which is kind of unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Kate and I were talking. I think we've kind of been together almost 22 years, and I think maybe 3 or 4 of them we've spent at home at Christmas. And so we're excited to get to do that, and excited to load up the next day and go to San Antonio, and, in a great city, a great bowl game against a great opponent. So excited about the whole experience, and really looking forward to, what happens next. We start practice on Thursday. Love being on the field with our players, and just looking forward to getting on the field and coaching.
Daniel, Christmas plans?
Yeah, same. I'm going to be, going to pour into my family here locally. Maybe try to, deliver a Christmas present with a short ski trip for all my kiddos who are much better skiers than I am, and then meet everybody in San Antonio for what we hope will be a great Alamo Bowl victory.
Very good. We're excited for that. We're excited for the game, Coach. Thank you both for joining us. Any final thoughts on the Valero Alamo Bowl from you two?
Yeah, I mean, just proud of our players. I think you referenced it earlier. Guys really did a great job hanging in there. I think showed the character of the team, and was glad to see them get a reward, like they did, to go play in a high-profile bowl game against high-profile opponent. So our guys are excited, looking forward to it, and can't wait to get out there. We get 12 practices before we're going to go play, and 12 opportunities to get better and develop our young players, and so just excited about the whole thing.
Yeah, for me, I just think we have a distinct opportunity to deliver what we enjoy in the Carter every home game, and that's a distinct home field advantage. I love the fact that we're playing here in Texas. San Antonio is a wonderful community to visit. It's a great place to live as well, but it's right for our fan base, and so we're hoping to see a big sea of purple out there, loud as they can be, cheering us on and giving us that edge that'll carry us over the goal line.
We've enjoyed watching you two work, and you've done a great job, both of you, in this regard. We're happy to be part of this organization, so thanks for what you guys do for us and the TCU. So
yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, go Frogs.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs, indeed. We'll be right back on State of the Frogs. We're going to talk to the greatness of Big Noon Kickoff host Rob Stone. Be right back. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Squire Shop. We are locally owned and operated since 1994. We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service. We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that. We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
We are now joined by the greatness of Mr. Rob Stone, host of Big Noon Kickoff on Fox. Rob, thank you for joining us again.
Hey, man, happy holidays. Thanks for having me back. Apparently, I did well enough on the first episode to come on.
Yes, we had our highest ratings ever. Yes, sir. Thank you for
that.
that.
Did you? Great. Congratulations.
Sure. Well, congrats on surviving a pretty brutal regular season. We've seen you every step of the way. You guys have done some traveling. Are you resting a little bit now more, or is it still full go?
Yeah. There's no rest. There's no rest for the weary. I'm in Las Vegas right now. College Football Hall of Fame inductions. My partner, my friend Urban Meyer, is going in tonight, and then I'll go to Baltimore Thursday to do some work ahead of Army Navy. The next week I got college basketball, and that weekend we hit the road for looks like Alabama at Oklahoma for round 1 of the college football playoffs. So things. Listen, man, if things are slow, we're in trouble here, right? Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving.
Simply amazing. Well, your time is appreciated. First things first, lots of people are saying lots of things about the CFP, the college football playoffs. We can dig into a bunch of these things, but real quickly, your thoughts, impressions on what the heck's going on in college football right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much going on beyond just the playoffs right now. Utah venturing into private equity as well. That's an absolute game changer, not just there in Big 12 country, but across college athletics. As far as the college football playoff picture, I don't have too many beefs with it. Everybody's going to nitpick. Everybody's going to complain. I think most of the conversation is around Notre Dame. I had them going in, but I'm all right with them not being in. win the games that matter and in a conference. So I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for the Notre Dame group out there who's complaining. Other than that, I know people want to maybe make some noise about 2 group of 6 programs being in there. Well, you know what? Conferences have a better year, right? ACC have a better year. And I love the little guy. So I love the fact that Tulane and James Madison get these amazing road trips and these opportunities in front of a massive stage to create arguably some of the biggest upsets the sport has ever seen. So overall, I'm pretty good with it. I'm also really good the fact that they only dropped Ohio State 1 spot, having lost to Indiana. I think there's always this tendency to kind of punish teams who lose by dropping 2 spots. And I give them a lot of credit for just kind of flip-flopping Indiana, Ohio State. I think they are 1 and 2 right now in college football.
Correct. You mentioned Notre Dame, Rob. They seem to be the biggest proponent of potentially a flawed ranking system prior to the college football bowl selection show. Any validity to that? The rankings being kind of not as accurate as we want them to be?
Yeah, I think their gripe is the fact that they never factored in head-to-head until it mattered at the very last week. And also the fact that, we entered the final weekend of college football's regular season, right? Championship weekend. And the fact that Notre Dame was 2 spots ahead of Miami, right? And then how do things change when both don't play? I understand that sentiment. That would anger me as well. Some of the sentiment is, all right, well, now the teams on their schedule had played and, how this works out and whatnot. But listen, again, I get it. I understand the beef that Notre Dame has. And again, there's a solution. Win your games, right? Easier said than done. But join a conference would make things so much easier, whether it's the ACC or the Big Ten. And listen, both of those conferences would love to have Notre Dame as a full-time member. And I think that's a solution right there. Is that something Notre Dame wants? You have to ask Notre Dame.
Notre Dame leads the list, but it's Notre Dame, K-State, Iowa State, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple, Florida State, Auburn, UCF, and Kansas have all declined a bowl bid. Thoughts on that? Because obviously everybody's thinking the same thing. These seniors are not going to get their last game. Thoughts on this?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Again, I'm not trying to be the old guy out there who just remembers the good old days, and that's what we want. But bowl games matter. Bowl games matter to student athletes, to coaching staffs, to fan bases, to alumni, to the kids, to the students out there who want to go cheer on their team as well. I always think that they're a great reward for a lot of these programs. And also if you're, year 1 or year 2 in a program, particularly if you're a head coach or new coaching staff or young players, that extra practice time is epic. It's so massive for them going forward to the next season. So I know programs are just, keep giving me a bowl game, right? So I can get this extra time with these kids and teach them up and learn about them and get them ready for the next season. And now so many people just bailing on it. It's a bad look. It's bad business. ESPN has a lot of money invested in bowl games, and they make a lot of money out of it. And bowl games go away. That is a significant financial hit to a lot of those people that own and operate and, spend a lot of time creating profitable pathways because of what the bowl games are. So I don't like it for a slew of reasons. I do understand some elements of it. The Notre Dame one kind of felt like I'm taking my ball and I'm going home, and if I can't play, nobody can play. I think the concept of Notre Dame taking on BYU, that would have been a fantastic game. That would have been the bowl game that I think people would have wanted to have seen outside of the college football playoffs. And now, we as a viewer, as a consumer, are deprived of that. So I don't like this. I don't like this trajectory, but I don't think it's going to be going anywhere else right now. I think you're going to continue to see it, unfortunately.
Well, you alluded to maybe the reasons why, but why do you think these schools are doing this to these seniors? Is it a business decision, or is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I think in the end, I think everything is a business decision these days in college football and around money and whatnot. And, there's enough players out there who, again, if the locker room says, I don't want to go, I don't want to play, and that's kind of like a majority, then okay, I'm at peace with that. But if it's administrators making these decisions saying, it's not what's best for business and it's going to cost us a lot of money and buying tickets and the travel and whatnot, and then kind of pulling the rug out from underneath the student athlete's feet, then I'm not loving that. So, the bowl system right now is certainly on a trajectory where it's either going to survive or it's going to end. And either one is going to happen really quickly. And it's definitely kind of spiraling in the negative way right now. And I don't love it, but there's a lot of money at stake, and these people who have those stakes are making these decisions in what they think is best for their program, not best for college football or what's best for the conference. They're making their decision individually, what's best for me.
We share the sentiment. I mean, the shocking thing for us here at TCU was majority of that list is Big 12 teams.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Big 12 teams kind of piled into that category, but a lot of Big 12 teams are opting out of games for this same reason.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm proud of TCU, and what a great matchup with USC as well. That's a prime bowl game, and it's a bowl game that has a lot of value for both programs. So, again, I think people are being a little short-sighted right now, maybe a little greedy, and they need to do what's best for college football, man. What's best for these student athletes in the end, and more times than not, that's playing football.
Well, before we talk about TCU USC, let's talk about the coaching carousel. And specifically, my producer, Jay, wanted me to ask you about Penn State. Apparently, they've lost the majority of their recruits for their situation they're in. But what's going on with this coaching carousel that's going on?
So, again, we go back to the Big 12, right? Matt Campbell leaving Iowa State for Penn State. I think had Coach Campbell accepted the Penn State offer within, the first X weeks of the opening, everybody would have said, really good hire, like kind of a home run hire. People have been pursuing Matt Campbell for years, whether it's in college football or NFL. So he has high pedigree. You guys know that, dealing with him in the Big 12 every year. It's just the optics don't look great, that, it feels like this was his Penn State's, whatever ends up being 5th, 6th, 7th option with all the different people they talk to. And then you're right, the bloodline to any college football program is recruiting. And Penn State didn't have anybody in charge during these massive times to recruit. So they're going to have to hammer the portal, right? They're going to have to try and flip some kids. And it puts them in a bad situation where they're playing catch-up football right now. In the end, I think they got a great guy, and I think Penn State is fortunate enough to have Matt Campbell, and I think he's going to at least keep them where they are. Maybe next year might be a bit of a hurdle with all of, I wouldn't say the defections, but the lack of a true great signing class right now on paper. And Drew Aller's gone, and the great running backs are gone there as well. So I think he's got his work cut out for him next year, but he's a highly respected man, and I think Penn State will be back, but you might want to give him a year buffer.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about TCU USC now. So this game's got a lot of storylines for us. It all started back in 1998 with the Sun Bowl. We upset a Carson Palmer-led, Chris Claiborne, Butkus-winning team. It kind of propelled this school into what we now call the winning eras. Everybody gives a lot of credit to that team. I happen to be on that team, so I'm pumping that story. But where were you in 1998?
Oh man, where was I in 1998? I was home from the World Cup that was in France that summer, and I was living in Connecticut and just trying to figure out my life. Right, I wasn't engaged or married yet, but I was certainly closing in on that concept and grinding at ESPN. But I love the fact that you go back to, and again, we're talking bowl games, right? Like a bowl game triggered a run for a program, right? Like there is real value to these bowl games. And you just reflect back on that one instance in El Paso that kind of kickstarted TCU football. And I've seen the clips. I've seen those being thrown around the TCU, football or Frogs Today social media sites. And I think that's pretty cool that it kind of comes full circle. Now, I'm pretty sure USC doesn't feel the same way, but for TCU, I love the fact that it's happening again.
I love that you said that. And then 2016, the TCU Miracle. This is an Alamo Bowl reference, not necessarily a USC, but 2016, the Gary Patterson-led Horned Frogs were down 31-3, I believe, at halftime, and came back in the biggest bowl comeback win ever, 47-41 over Oregon. We still talk about that team to this day. So there's an Alamo Bowl connection there. Do you remember this game at all?
That one I don't remember. I was working a lot of bowl games when I was at my former employer and I was bouncing around a lot. So odds are I was probably working another game that day. You know, there's a flood of games and kind of that small little window that, you know, back then there wasn't such a long runway of bowl games, right? You know, they were starting almost immediately as soon as the season stopped. And next thing you know, there's a Bahamas Bowl and they're playing in, you know, places I've never heard of and whatnot, and Poulan Weed Eater Bowls. But I don't remember that one. But again, it goes back to the value of these bowl games and these opportunities and these memories that are created from these games, not just for individuals, but for programs and fan bases as well.
Right. And the last storyline I want to share with you, Rob, is USC head coach Lincoln Riley and TCU head coach Sonny Dykes both coached together at Texas Tech early in their career. So there's a really neat little tie there. They call themselves good friends, which I believe. So this is a neat little twist on this whole bowl thing that we're talking about here.
Again, don't let the bowl games go away, man. People need to fight for these things because people care and they matter. And I do love these little stories. And I do love when the coaching trees kind of wrap around the country and then find their way back together. You know, some of the guys that, you know, fall under the Mike Leach coaching tree as well.
Yes, sir.
This is what we're talking about here. I love those reunions. And I always love those games where they pull out in the middle of the broadcast, like those old black and white pictures of like the team or the coaching staff and, you know, your circle, and you're like, oh, there's Dana Holgerson, there's Sonny, there's this, there's another, da-da-da. And I love seeing those old school pictures of young guys as GAs with awful mustaches and trying to fit in on the coach's picture. And then you look at them, you know, 10, 15, 20 years later, and like, man, that was a heck of a staff.
Yes, indeed. Do you have any thoughts on the Valero Alamo Bowl, USC number 16 versus TCU?
I think it's a game that really matters for both teams, particularly heading into next season. You know, I think both USC and TCU had higher goals this campaign for what they wanted to achieve, and they still had really solid, respectable seasons. But I think both programs wanted a little bit more, and both are saying, I would assume right now, like, all right, let's use this buildup. Let's use this game against a quality opponent to kind of kickstart us next year. You know, a lot of programs, a lot of coaches do that. You know, it's another opportunity to win or end on a winning note and get your season started next year and get it right and start in a good place. So I think it's one of the more attractive bowl games out there that's not in the college football playoffs.
Very nice. I hope you have time in your busy schedule to throw a little dig at your partner, Matt Leinart, being a USC quarter. Your relative connection.
We'll make time for that. Good. We'll make time. Don't you worry. And he's got a kid going to SMU as well.
Very nice.
I got plenty of material on him now.
That's fantastic. All right, before we go, Rob, I want to ask you about the World Cup draw. Obviously this is coming up for you in short order, but what are your thoughts on the World Cup draw?
If we're talking for the U.S. men's national team, really good draw, favorable draw, a draw that places them in a group that I think is winnable. Again, we still don't know that third team that's coming out of the European playoffs, which won't happen until late March. And that could be a nation like Turkey, which all of a sudden makes this group that much stronger. But their first two games on paper at least look winnable, or at least a fair matchup, not like, oh my gosh, we're going against Ronaldo or Messi or whatever. It's not the sexiest group, but I don't care about the sex appeal right now. I care about the U.S. getting out of the group and, you know, getting to the round of 32 and then hopefully to the round of 16, right? And creating some major momentum and noise in the U.S. And I love the fact that there's little places like Cape Verde and Haiti and Uzbekistan entering the World Cup for the first time ever. I love, you know, these underdog stories, you know, these tales of countries that people don't really know where they are on a map or know much about them. And next thing you know, they're paired up and lining up against Ronaldo. Like it's going to be a bunch of guys, you know, trying to change jerseys with Messi. And it kind of goes back to the college football playoffs, right? Like this is why I love Tulane and James Madison being there. They're given an opportunity. Now take advantage of your opportunity. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass your conference. You know, put up a good fight and maybe shock the world, right? And there's no bigger shock of the world than what a World Cup stage can offer you. And if a Cape Verde or a Haiti or a Curacao can pull off something, boy, that's going to be must-see TV and a massive storyline next summer.
We appreciate your comments, Rob. Thank you for the time. We love knowing you. We're a huge fan of you, and we appreciate you doing this for us every time you do it. So thanks again, Rob.
Hey, man, peace, crease. Anytime, guys.
Let's do it. Thank you to Rob Stone for joining us, and thank you to our friends at Texit Coin for backing everything we do here. Appreciate you guys for the season. We'll be on location in San Antonio, Texas for the 2025 Valero Alamo Bowl. for the entire coverage of the entire situation, starting with team arrival, SeaWorld Day, pressers, practices, luncheons, tailgates. We'll talk, of course, to the actual some of the actual 2016 Alamo Bowl heroes, mainly Graham Colhausen and Aaron Green, two of our legends of the game. Until next time, this has been State of the Frogs.